Hey guys, so welcome to my 36 and 37 week update. I know I mentioned before that I was going to do them weekly, and then last week it was just kind of like all my doctor's appointments were at different times than they normally are, and so I had to kind of adjust how I updated you guys, because otherwise you wouldn't have a doctor's appointment to go off of. I wouldn't have like information. So anyway, that's what we're doing. I wanted to go ahead and do this one because I'm not entirely sure how many more I'm going to be able to do. I know I said this last time, but I'll tell you a little bit more about what's been going on, and then you guys can kind of understand what's why I feel the urgency to do this weekend. I have a lot of things to show you guys. I have a lot of stuff to update you on, mostly from this week, from week 37, not so much from week 36. Not a whole lot really happened. I mean, like, you know, doctor's appointments, everything was fine, weight was fine, everything was fine. But 37 weeks is really the big one. But I did have a couple of things that I just wrote on my phone, so I just wanted to go ahead and let you guys know about week 36. I started to, let's see here, get really strong Braxton Hicks contractions around week 36. And I've been having like regular contractions, and by regular I mean not Braxton Hicks, I mean like intense contractions from about week 20. So, as you guys know if you've been watching my videos. But, so I wasn't really too concerned about that, but it seemed like the Braxton Hicks contractions really kind of picked up and started to be a little more useful, like they were actually doing something that week. And so that was a little bit more noticeable. I was super tired, like so super tired that I didn't even want to get up. Like I would sit down and just sit there. Like it was really bad, especially when we're moving. And yeah, so it was just really bad. Side note, we are moving. We are leaving the state, so we're in Tennessee now. We will be moving to Ohio. And that's going to happen after the baby's born, after Charlie's born. Probably the first week or so in November. So we have been living in a townhouse. We were having to get out of that townhouse by the end of the month. So just because that's when our lease is up and it was just easier. And we are actually staying with my mom for the rest of the time. So I am currently with my mother, with Alec, and at her house. And Tyler is kind of like going back and forth to the townhouse, which is about 30 minutes away from my mom's house, and then to her house. So it's been really hectic. There has been a lot of packing going on. My part of the packing is pretty much done, thankfully. I got the big stuff done, and now Tyler just has to kind of go through and clean up the extras, you know, which works really well because he's still working, and that way he doesn't have to worry about doing a whole lot by himself. Or like, you know, trying to figure out what everything is and where everything goes and whatever. We just need to figure out movers. So that's been the fun part. But that's kind of where we are right now. We're just kind of quickly trying to figure everything out. And luckily we live near my mom, so she has generously offered to let us stay at her house, and it has just been really nice. So, not to go on a huge long tangent about that, but that's what's been going on. It seems like I'm always in sort of like a munching mood, but if I don't eat, I'm fine. So like if I get hungry but it's not convenient for me to eat, like if I'm out running errands, or you know, if I'm taking care of Alec and I really can't stop to get something to eat, that feeling will go away and then I'll be fine. But the moment I start to eat, it's like, watch out. Like I'm just going to continue to eat for the entirety of the day. And usually that starts happening at night. So like from dinner on is basically just snacking and eating and whatever, and that's when the cravings happen. I don't usually get cravings during the day, usually it is just at night. And this was 36 and 37 weeks, but let's see, cravings have been mint chocolate chip milkshakes from Cookout. Funfetti cake was a big one last week, and I saw, what's her name? Her channel name is Pretty Neat Living. But anyway, I saw her vlog, and she's pregnant, and her biggest craving was Funfetti cake too last week, or the week before, I guess. And so she got this one that had pudding in it in the mix for the cake, and oh my gosh, it is amazing. I had to go out and get some, and so it's just amazing. So luckily, I can have that and then be done for the rest of the day. Like, once I get my craving, I'm pretty much set. Lately though, it has been these guys. So, the Starburst Minis. I really like these are the original ones, but I really like the ones that are just the strawberry and cherry and one other one. They're just like all the pinks and reds. But I'm really not that picky. That will definitely work. Let's see what else. And grapes. Grapes have been a big thing too. Like, I could eat grapes like they are going out of style. So that's kind of nice to get a little bit of fruit in there. Oh, even though it's still sweet and sugary and, you know, not exactly what I'm going for. As far as aversions go, fast food seems to be a big aversion. Like, it'll sound decent. I don't think fast food ever really sounds good, but it'll sound decent, and then we'll go pick it up or whatever. And I don't know if it's a textural thing again. I don't know if it's like just my body being like, you really don't need to be eating that. But it is just not that good. So it's kind of nice to have that aversion, but at the same time, it makes it super inconvenient when you're like on the run needing to get something to eat. So I don't know. And that's been last weekend this week. So it's kind of a nice thing, I guess. And then the last thing before I get into this other stuff is that I've had the weirdest feeling like I've been punched in the stomach. And I woke up with it this morning as well, actually, but you just feel like somebody punched you in the stomach. Somebody like did this to your stomach, and it kind of hurts up into your chest. And I haven't really talked to my doctor about it, just because it'll go away really fast. It doesn't stick around for too long, and I'm not like throwing up from it. I don't know. I should probably talk to her about it, but I just don't feel like it's that necessary to really talk about when there's other stuff that I've been talking to her about, which is what I'll get into in a moment. But yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so that was week 36. Now we'll go into week 37, and I'm going to show you a couple of things that I have been either using or I just got in the mail. It's just two things actually. But the first thing is this whole grain flaxseed meal. So I started to look up lactation cookies because when I was pregnant, or when I had Alec, our son, I wanted to breastfeed him so badly. That was like my plan. That was what I was doing. You know, my heart was set on it. And he was born at 37 weeks to the day. And he had a really hard time eating. He had a lot of acid reflux, and he just wasn't quite ready to be born yet, I don't think. And so he had a hard time eating, and we eventually went to formula, and which was fine. I mean, there's no right or wrong. It's just, it wasn't my plan, you know? And so this time around, I'm kind of like, okay, well, what can I do to prepare myself so that we don't have that problem again? Because part of it was also that my milk never really fully came in. So I was looking at lactation cookies, and if you Google lactation cookies, you get like all these websites for all these different things, and some of them are, I don't know, some of them have these weird ingredients where you're like, I don't even know where to begin to find those ingredients. And but the main ingredient in all of them was flaxseed meal. You don't use flour, you use flaxseed meal. And so the more I researched it, it was kind of like, okay, well, why don't I just get the pieces for the recipe, and then if I can use those pieces in other things, then, you know, I can do that. So I've been putting this on oatmeal. I have been putting this in my cereal. Like if I have cold cereal with milk, I'll put it on it. Let's see, what did we have? We had spinach souffle the other day, and we put it in that. And you only use like a tablespoon. And it has a little bit of a nutty taste to it, but it's definitely full of fiber and omega-3s, all kinds of really good fats and stuff. And it's interesting if you research it, because a lot of the foods that they have now, even the organic ones, even the ones that say they have this, really don't have much in the way of omega-3s and fiber and all that fun stuff. So, and it's naturally gluten-free, which is always nice. I am not gluten-free, but I think it's definitely something to think about. So that's what I've been doing. I mean, if you put too much in it, it does become kind of stickier, you know, it's like a flour. So if you add too much flour to whatever, it's going to start to get kind of sticky. But I haven't noticed really that much of a flavor difference, and I don't know, I figure if I can get my body worked up to this once he's born, I can continue to do that, maybe add some more in, maybe, you know, make those cookies or whatever, and then we'll be good. So that's been that. On the same vein, through my insurance, I did qualify for a breast pump, and that came this week, and it's the Medela. It's the Medela, I'll link it down below, but it's the Medela starter pack, but it's called something else. I forget what it's called. Maybe it says in here. Medela. Nope. And so this is what that looks like. That's where you plug in the pumpy guys, and then there's your on and adjusting the you know, suction, and then there's also a letdown button. So I will be doing a review of it once I started using it. It also comes with all of these things. I just sterilized them, so I wanted to keep them in the bag, but you have the little cords that connect to the front, and then the bottles and the pumps and all the little pieces. So, so like I said, I'll do a review of it. It does plug into the wall as well as take batteries, which is really nice. And the only option that I had with my insurance was if I wanted the upgrade, which came with an ice pack to carry the milk with, and a tote. And I didn't need either one of those, so it was completely free through my insurance. And I would definitely recommend, if you guys are expecting, or if you haven't heard about that program, definitely talk to your insurance about what kind of pump is available to you. There were actually quite a few available to us, and we just did our research and kind of figured out which one we wanted to go with. Also though, I went through my OB, and my OB had a company that they worked with to do that, and that's how I got mine. I didn't contact my insurance company directly, it was through the OB's suggestion. So, okay, there's that. All right, so now down to the nitty gritty. So, at week 36, I started to get kind of swollen, and as you've kind of noticed over the past little while, I have, like, my face has gotten quite swollen, my neck, my lips, my hands have gotten quite swollen, and I just kind of attributed that to, I'm pregnant, I'm getting to be swollen, you know, it's like, it's toward the end, and that's just how it goes. And when I talked to the doctor, she felt the same way. She was like, yeah, don't worry about it, you know, you're just swollen and things are fine, but we'll keep an eye out on you. My blood pressure was always good, everything was always fine. So this past week, I had a doctor's appointment on Thursday. Thursday? Yeah. And it is Saturday now, so 2 days ago I had a doctor's appointment. And that was for my 37-week checkup. And I go in, and the nurse is like, you're really swollen. I'm like, yeah, I know. You know, thanks. And they weigh me, and I've gained like 4 pounds in this past week. So then I go into the doctor, like into the office, and once you get down to these visits, it's less about like monitoring and whatever as it was before. Before it was like every week you get an ultrasound and you do an unstress test, and then you would do a fetal monitor. And she was like, last week, my doctor was like, we're not going to do that anymore. You're not going to have to worry about it. We'll just check you every week and make sure see if you're dilating, see if you're changing at all. And then we'll answer any questions and you'll be on your way. You know, real easy stuff. So I went into the doctor, and the doctor walks in and she's like, wow, you're really swollen. And so I said, yeah, and I kind of explained to her about, you know, what was swelling, and that my right foot was really swollen, like my right ankle. And I have a picture. I don't know if I'll put it in or not. It's kind of alarming how big my ankle gets and my foot, but it goes all the way up my leg. Like the swelling goes all the way up my leg, past my knee, and just is huge. Like I can't wear, today I'm wearing my Aztec-y sort of like funky pants because they're wide leg, but I cannot seem to wear my jeans, at least not for very long. Yesterday they wouldn't even go up past my ankles. So, and then I was just kind of like, I'm not eating awful food. Like I'm not eating out every day, and I'm not doing all these things, and I'm still gaining weight, and I still feel huge. And I said, and I don't, you know, I'm trying really hard to watch what I eat so that I'm not gaining a ton of weight, but I'm still gaining a ton of weight. And she was like, yeah, you know, let's look into that. Let's figure out what's going on. And so she had me go in for an ultrasound. So we got to see the baby, and he did his little mouth movements. He was opening and closing his mouth, and he had his hands up by his face, and he was just, oh my goodness, so cute. He's super squished in there, so he has like this squished old man face. It's pretty sweet. But it can't be comfortable though. I feel really badly for him because I'm just like, just move around a little bit, you know, just stretch out. It's okay, you don't have to be so squished, but maybe he does, I don't know. Anyway, so we did that, and they brought me back in, and they put me on the monitor, and the doctor came in and said, you know, you have a ton of fluid, like amniotic fluid, and she said, that's not necessarily a bad thing, it just means that when your water breaks, you'll know it. She said, but, you know, let's just keep an eye out on that. And then I was talking to her about my leg and about how swollen it was, and it is only on my right side. My left side is a little bit swollen, but it's kind of just like a normal pregnancy swell instead of like alarming, oh my goodness, my leg's going to explode kind of look, which is the one on the right. And she said, okay, well, I want you to do, or to get an ultrasound of your leg to make sure there aren't any clots or anything. And she said, do I think there are clots? No. She said, but it's always better to check and get it looked at and whatever. So we talked for a little while longer, and my blood pressure's good. I have no protein in my urine. Everything's fine. And so then she says, and we're gonna need to see you back tomorrow. I'm like, okay. So my husband had taken the morning off to come with me to this doctor's appointment on Thursday, but he was supposed to work on Friday. So it was like, all right, well, that's not convenient at all, because then they put me on stricter bed rest. They're like, she's like, you're not supposed to get off of a chair. Like, don't let your feet touch the ground. You just sit there and you don't move, you know, just for tonight until we have the next appointment. Fine. So we make the appointment to go over to the hospital for the ultrasound, and then we make the appointment for yesterday to come back in, and it was at like 2 or 2:30 or something. So we go to the hospital and we get the ultrasound, and that was really cool. I had never seen an ultrasound like that before, like where they look at your leg and look at your arteries and veins and stuff. It was really interesting. I think that that's cool. But the ultrasound guy was like, I'm going to run this past the radiologist. If he says there's anything wrong, we're going to keep you. If there isn't, you get to go home. So nothing showed up, so we got sent home. And then we came back in yesterday to the doctor's office, and she said everything looked fine with that. There was no clotting, no anything, so that's good. I showed her the picture that I had taken yesterday, or the day before yesterday, of my ankle. And she said, I asked her if it was normal, and she was like, well, no. And she said, I want to do some blood work to see about preeclampsia, because that's now an option. My blood pressure was 103 over 73 or 74, so like my blood pressure is obviously not the issue. She said I did have a little bit of protein in my urine yesterday, but nothing out of the ordinary. And but she just said, let's just do some blood work, and because sometimes preeclampsia can show up without any other symptoms other than swelling. So she said, let's just look at that, see what's going on, and then I'll go back in on Monday. Originally it was like, come back Tuesday or Wednesday, just not too far into the week, and we'll talk. And then she kind of thought about it. She was like, you know what, no, I need to see you back on Monday. So, so I had my blood drawn. We got another ultrasound. Everything looks good with the baby. The baby's fine. He's actually measuring 39 weeks and 4 days. So he's a chunk. Their estimated weight for him is 7 pounds, 11 ounces right now, which means that if he is born at the time when he's supposed to be born, he will be over 8.5 pounds. So in a way, I'm kind of like, he can come anytime he wants to. I'm kind of done, and I don't really want to know what an 8.5 pound baby is like when they're born. But anyway, the good thing is that he's not in distress. Everything's fine. When they hooked me up to the monitor yesterday, I was having actual contractions, and they were able to see them. I have been having contractions all throughout yesterday and today, so we'll just kind of see how that goes. But, okay, you ready for this? This is the fun part. So she comes back into the room and she's like, well, we were gonna wait until Monday to do this, she said, but I feel like we kind of should just go ahead and do it. Anybody know what this is? Oh, it is a 24-hour urine catch. So I have not used it yet. It is still clean. But basically what happens is on Sunday morning, so tomorrow morning, I do not catch my first urine, the first pee of the day. But everyone after that, from the second one of Sunday until the first one of Monday morning, I have to capture in this and refrigerate it. So they gave me one of those big hat things and whatever, and it's no big deal, but it's just like, and then I get to carry my little lunchbox looking thing back into the doctor and be like, here's my pee, please take this, you know? Oh my gosh. So anyway, I mean, it's good. They're gonna test for all kinds of things. They're also gonna take more blood once I go back to the doctor on Monday. But it was just kind of like, great. Pregnancy is really glamorous. Yeah, no. I think you are put through tests and you're put through things so that when the baby's born, you're like, okay, it's worth it, you know. I would do it all over again, and you forget all about the stuff when you have to pee into the jug and, you know, whatever. Anyway, that's what's going on. So this weekend, I have been told not to move. I have been told not to get out of bed, but that's not doable. Luckily, it is a weekend, so my mom's home, Tyler is home, my dad is coming to visit, so I will have a lot of help, but that's kind of how it is. I'm just kind of feeling like I'm done, I'm ready, and I just don't know. I think Monday is going to be the deciding factor, the deciding visit. They're going to give me the results of my blood work and the urine sample, and then we're going to figure out if there's anything weird with either one of those. I'm thinking they're going to be doing an induction, but she said that if there isn't anything wrong, we could just watch it and see what happens. I'm just worried that, you know, for the rest of the weeks following, you know, I'm 37, a little over 37 weeks now, I can't not move for 3 weeks. Like, I have to still take care of Alec, I still have to do things, so I think I'm going to be talking to them about what options I have as far as maybe getting this process started a little bit earlier than 40 weeks. Breaks my heart because I really wanted to have him born in October, but that's okay, you know, it is what it is. I just want him to be healthy, I want myself to be healthy, I just want everything to be good and to turn out well, and so that's kind of where we are right now. But I'm going to go ahead and end with a belly shot. Again, excuse the wardrobe. None of my clothes fit because I have been gaining so much water weight, and that's what it essentially is. I asked her about the weight gain and she said it's not fat, it's all fluid. Like, you're just swelling. It's not like you're fat and you're eating bad things and whatever. She was like, it's just, you are just swollen. And if you kind of like touch the tops of my fingers or my hands and my arms, they kind of indent in because they are so swollen. Same with my feet, same with my face and my neck and my, well, everything. It's just everything. So I just feel like I'm 500 pounds and, oh, but, okay, well, I hope you guys are having a good day. I'm sorry that whole thing was kind of long and there was a lot of complaining. It felt like, I feel like I do that a lot in these updates. I'm kind of like, whoa, 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 it's so awful and hard. And it's really not. It's just getting to the point now where I'm being watched like a hawk by everybody. And I remember this from the pregnancy with Alec, where it was just like, you're just sitting there waiting and waiting and waiting, and it's not an enjoyable process, this last part. But it is giving me some extra time to get things ready. We are definitely ready with the hospital bags. We have everything set, so that's really nice. It kind of kickstarted us into like, okay, we gotta get stuff done, you know, and so that is a plus to that. So everything has been pre-registered at the hospital. We've done that, so that's been really good too. But all right, you guys, well, I hope you're having a good day. I hope you're having a good week. I will update you with what happens on Monday as soon as I find out something. And yeah, so have a good week, you guys, and I will talk to you in a little bit.